ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the Morning Shake with me, your host, Xavier, Hendricks. And of course, we got my co-host, Mr. J. Paris. But he's on the other side of the studio today.
Yes,
Jay, what's happening, Jay?
What's happening? Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world, man. It's a new life. It's not new life. It's a new week.
It's a new week.
It's a new week, and we happy, broski. We happy for the grace of God. We happy for the mercy of God. I love Mondays. It means new opportunities, new beginnings, and we can take this week on and make it happen. What's happening?
Let's get it.
Let's
Get it. And of course, we got our other co-host on set today. She's just in studio sorting something out real quick, but she's on her way in. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, please, I would like you to get your round of applause ready and welcome our guest today, none other than Ken's, however she goes by.
Keenan
Ria John. Ladies and gentlemen, please. I almost forgot it because I know Ken's. And I just said, let me get it. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm really excited about it.
Thank you for coming through. How's the weekend been? How's things going?
Things are going really great. I'm focusing on all the goodies, which is obviously keeping me focused and excited. That's why I'm saying it's really great. And other than that, healthy and strong by the grace of God, obviously.
Yeah. By
what's happening around the world. We've got to be grateful for health more than anything else. So, yeah.
We're excited to have you on the show. It's a Monday, and we want you to pour into each and every one of us. Just inspire us, and we're looking forward to your story and what you got going.
Perfect. And then, of course, we got none other than the host from the Wednesday warm-up. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Deandra Boyce.
Oh, wow, I get the round of applause. I get a round of applause.
You got
Hello,
those delayed.
I've got these ones on.
Let's see if you can handle yourself.
So Xavier, Jay, and myself, that's 3 people now who have experienced these thirst trap.
They're catching you.
They're catching me. So let's explain to you. I need to take these off to explain because. So you are lucky that you didn't get these headsets. Okay. These ones are the problem headsets. There's like a loop on it, so your voice sounds delayed in your head, and it messes with the psyche. And then what happens? You try to play catch up, like psychologically. So I'm gonna leave those off.
So
Good morning.
It's like this, and we had a lovely weekend, but now it's a break. A great Monday
that's
morning.
That's literally how it. Yeah, that's how it goes. So we don't normally tell guests about that. We just want to see how they.
We just want to see how they react, and then we sit there and watch them unfold and unravel. Then how's the weekend been? How's things going on your side?
Weekend's been absolutely amazing. It was a very nice weekend. Yesterday we had family lunch. We watched. Well, I didn't watch. I was upstairs watching a movie. But
you were hearing the people.
The family downstairs were watching the game between Liverpool and Man City,
Let's
and it was
a
mess.
There. Let's
it was
not
an
go
absolute
there.
mess.
There
was so much fighting. Hey, we needed family counseling after that.
It was a disaster,
God remains good. God remains good.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're speaking about the pursuit of your purpose. Are you living the life you're supposed to be living? Are you doing what you want to do? We were just having an offline conversation before this, and a lot of us fall into this trap of we're doing what our parents wanted us to do, or we're living the life that our parents told us that I want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, or what is the other one, bro, that you had to be? And if you wanted to do anything different, like remember there was an accountant. Yeah. If you wanted to do anything different, like there was times that people wanted to go into sports, football. People wanted to do, comedy. Someone wanted to become a comedian. They're like, no, there's no money in that.
Doesn't bring in the bag.
Doesn't bring the bag. Da. And oh, how times have changed. Oh, how those things are bringing in more money now than the doctors and the lawyers and the accountants, because these people are like really out there. Killing the game. But living your purpose, are you doing what you want to do? I want to ask you today, are you doing what you want to do?
Okay, so
We're throwing you
Okay,
into
cool.
the deep end
Absolutely.
early in the
Let's
game.
go for it. So, firstly, at this point in time, yes, I am, and it's been quite a stretch for me. So, I'm sure we've got time, and I can go.
Yeah, we
on
can
that,
get into
right?
it.
So, it
Definitely.
all started off with, okay, growing up, humble beginnings. My
Can we
mom
just move the
used to-
mic a little bit?
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it a lot better?
Yes, more clear.
A lot better. Okay.
Don't do an ASMR. What do you call it?
ASMR.
Right? Okay, guys. So
You've got the
growing up-
voice for it, so that's cool. It's cool. You
Normally,
can.
they say I've got. Well, I'm born with a natural sub.
It's a good voice.
Now you're
It's
asking me
it's
to
a good
go
voice
louder.
for podcasts and
low
radio,
tone.
so we welcome it.
Thanks.
What do you want to play there?
The con.
Oh, the aircon. I don't have a thing. Can
It's
you
on
just
the
do
side.
it?
It's on the side there, bro.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
Kin, please
Okay,
continue.
yes. Okay, guys. Growing up from humble beginnings, I mean, my mom's Sutu, my dad's Greek, and he died a long time ago. Like, we were about myself,
Wait, what? Your mom's suit and your
Sutu,
dad's
and my
Greek?
dad's Greek. Crazy combination,
That,
eh?
that is a
Ah,
crazy
so
combination. It's a
beautiful.
dope combination. though.
Definitely.
Eh?
Yeah.
Right? So, we were like, we three siblings. I've got two brothers, a younger one and an elder one. Both of them are about 2 years younger and 3 years older. So, we seen my mother work really hard because right after my brother was like 10 days old, my dad died. And I seen my mother like hustle solid. She wasn't educated because she educated all her siblings. And when they were done with school, she went off to go live her life. But it was literally just, family and trying to do what she needs to do to put food on the table for us, not knowing that my dad's days are really short. And then right after that, we've seen my mother hustle to a point where it was the only life we knew, but it was the best because the only thing that we do remember, and which has been the essence, was the love that we've seen from her. And what we've mirrored was her work ethic more than anything else, So, just seeing her go through all of these things and just taking us through the best that she could actually and just provide for us, we were able to just also wing everything, just the way she did. And she brought us up in the house of the Lord, which was really amazing. And I mean, she always said to us, you know what, guys, I can't afford a number of things, but I can assure you that God will. And that's when she introduced us to him. And she would literally make us understand why we need to go to catechism, why we need to go to Bible school, why we need to do all of this.
So
and
did
we
you grow
didn't
up
understand
Catholic?
it. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Because my dad was in an Orthodox church, so my mother tried and, just get us, she tried to get us into all of that.
Was your
but
dad from Mozambique?
no, he wasn't from Mozambique, from Greece.
Oh, from actual Greece.
From actual Greece.
Okay.
That alone is a crazy story. Hopefully, if we have time, I'll share that.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Just remind me. Okay, so we were brought up in the house of the Lord, guys, and there were many times where she would say, guys, there's a number of things I can't afford. You know what you need to do. Go and pray. Go and for me, it was like, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
And in catechism, it's a bit very strict. You
Yeah.
know, it's not as open where they'll say literally, pray a certain way. It will be more so much of the Our Father that it's so rehearsed. It's a song, but you're not genuinely connecting or you're not asking or whatever the case may be. So that would mean now I have to try and build a relationship with God that I would really love to touch and feel and actually hear back. So that was a bit
Yes.
difficult. But because I see now, well, my mother mirrored a number of amazing things. She would always reference it back to him or back to the success that she had because of him in terms of getting a better job or being able to do things for us. She'll always say, guys, that's God, that's God, that's God. So then we started putting him to the test. Myself, all the time. So there were a number of things that I started wanting and it
Let's
would be
pray
like-
and see if this works.
that was definitely the attitude,
Yes,
to a
yes.
number, everything. And when it happened, it would be like,
It works.
you know what I mean? It
I
was
love
God,
that
like,
reaction.
It was God. It was God,
Yes.
and myself and my younger brother were really close. My father was more of the father figure in the house. So we always seen him as that guy where me and my younger brother would grow up together and experience everything and share experiences and just everything that we would encounter and be like, wow, this happened. It was magic. No, it was God. What do you think it was?
was magic.
And then my brother literally logged onto The Secret. I'm not sure if everybody's aware of The Secret.
Yeah,
the law
that's
of
the book,
attraction.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Yes, yes.
So that's when he said, guys, you kind of need to stay away from this because God's not involved in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But listen to the story anyway. So we started putting that to the test as well
Wow.
by literally watching it and then having to go through what we've been taught, about God and stuff.
Yes.
So as life went on, there were seasons in my life where I started to just implement the law of attraction and not have God in there. Where you stop praying for a month or two and then, because now you're trying to implement what is taught in The Secret, you just have to manifest. You just need to see things
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
do all the things that they tell you to do.
universe.
And yes, things started happening. Things genuinely started happening. But then again, as that started happening, there was no fulfillment. So there was nothing else for a person to fall back on. So you can't go and speak to anybody about it, where
Sure.
if you had brought something before God and you're like, Lord, this is what it is, and if it doesn't work out, in the law of attraction, you can't go back and speak to anybody.
Yes.
But you can go back to God and say, Lord, I thought this, I thought that, and you'd get an answer.
Yes, yeah.
So by putting all of that together, I realized that, and by reading scripture, there were a lot of things that were mentioned in the Bible that were quoted in the law of attraction. But I'm like, but this is God's word.
Most of the things, even in Scientology, a lot of that is just
Right.
scripture.
100%.
Which I don't understand why a lot of people today, and you're going to proceed in a second, a lot of people today speak about the universe this, the universe that.
Absolutely.
And it's like, bro, we know the owner of
The universe.
the universe.
Yes.
I can take
So
it
it's
one
like,
level
I can
up.
take it, not even one, that's like 50 billion levels up.
Crazy. So by just applying the law of attraction, it just felt so empty.
Yes.
Things weren't really happening accordingly. And myself and my brother would go through life together and we'll be implementing the same things, but in what he wants to do and what I want to do. And there were many times where I'll see him succeed in a certain way. And when things wouldn't go according to plan, we'll be like, okay, this is where God wasn't involved and this is where we need to include him.
Sure.
This is where he needs to come. Literally, we need to bring him. We basically need to come to him so that he can come forth for us. So that was time. There were always situations where I would feel forced to basically include God now,
include
because
God.
it was more like, show me, guys. I'm not featuring there. I'm gonna make sure
Yes.
that this happens so that
So
I
that
can
you
show
know
you it's
I'm the
always
boss.
gonna be me.
Exactly.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's been that kind of play back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I realized that just like a number of things that we have to be consistent in, it's the relationship that we also have to be consistent in. You know what I mean? In church, it was more about religion.
Yes.
And when the fulfillment wasn't felt at all, moving out of the Catholic Church, because everything was so rehearsed based on my own,
Experience, yeah.
And they would call it the happy clappy church. You would connect and scream and pray and just be that. And at first, my brother and I would just stand there looking at each other.
Because you
And
came from this,
And
like-
Kenneth was like, bruh, I can't do this. I'm the tallest child.
Everyone's gonna see my hands.
Everybody's in. I'm like, I didn't know because you're not used to it. But then again, we started feeling a difference. And then
Sure.
that's when I realized as well that this is what's actually building a relationship with God and not just the religion.
Sure.
And that it was more about that more than anything else. So as life went on, in high school, going to a number of things as well as small as parties and events like that. So my brothers, everybody would basically have their own lives and stuff. And by already praying at a very young age, there were things that I still wanted to experience and explore as small as going to a party house,
teenager,
right?
yeah.
So I'll want to go and I'll know that it's wrong. I'll know that it's very wrong.
Yeah.
But I'll pray about it. And I'll say, Lord, I want to go,
It's
but I
true.
promise I'm not going to smoke and I'm not going to drink. I'm
Yes.
not going to do anything, but I really want to go.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see all my friends are going to be there. But please, can I be safe? Because if I go to a
Otherwise
naughty
something
place,
can happen,
anything's
yeah.
going to happen.
Yo.
Then it's because, you're not supposed to be there.
Hey, those thoughts, your 100
Right?
thoughts
It
running
happens.
through your mind.
But it started there at the age of, 13, 14, 15, 16, and was all those little events that God's literally seen me through that now made me believe in him for bigger and massive things. After school, there was no funds for tertiary education or anything like that. Everybody had to go work and go see for themselves, and I got that. And then life happened. I got into a really cool, serious relationship, and, well, I had aunties that would always implement the whole thing or the whole theory where when you're done with school, you need to find yourself a husband, you need to get a job and get married. And right? That's the only thing.
Yes,
We knew. Nobody
yes.
told us about going to go and see the world,
Yeah,
go and travel, go
traveling
and
and
see,
stuff,
go and find whatever your heart desires.
Get
Your
married
family.
and get kids.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? That's
yes.
all it was. And then I literally went into that whole phase by the age of 22, 23, guys. And at that point in time, I could feel that I was not in the right space at all. And then the shift happened. And that was when a major, I think that was the breaking point for me more than anything else. And that is when I literally wanted to do so much more. I got into this, okay, then I had my baby girl. I had my baby girl at the age of 23.
What's her name?
Lamia.
Oh, let me.
Lamia. And then I was at home with my mom, and I just had this moment, man, And I just started to speak to God a lot more.
Okay.
Because then I was like, Lord, I kind of feel like I'm in a situation where a soapy is kind of playing out right now, and this is not the way I had seen my life. I expected so much more, like, this is not the way I had seen things. Anyway, I decided to pray and look into different things, and then I came across, I don't know, where did I go to? I ended up going to some place where I met different people, completely different. So there were times where, because my mother struggled the way that she did a lot, and because when my dad died, he had his brothers coming and look for us, basically, to take us to go and live in Greece and all of that. So my mother wasn't willing to give over her babies. So it was always
do
a
they
rush.
just want
She
to take
always
the kids
rang.
and not?
Yes, of course. Like, they came to come and collect. And my mother was like, no,
Sure.
like, I'm ducking with you. So everything, wherever we went, we had to move because they would
Come
look
and
and
try and look,
find.
yeah.
And so we would literally be in a new primary school for as long as I can remember. Every year I started a new primary school, make new friends. So all of that, Anyway, coming back to my story, so I'm sorry guys, so I'm going to jump and try and come
All
back home.
good.
Now
Those are the best
Because
kind
it
of
always
stories.
comes
We're
back,
following
it
the
always
story,
come
we're
back.
following
Okay,
the
cool.
story.
Great stuff. So at that point in time, I wanted something completely different. And looking at my family, there was nobody that I could literally ask for different advice from, other than what I was already exposed to.
Yes.
Are you with me? So everything that I've already seen is basically what I've mirrored. Because when I look back and I seen, okay, it's kind of similar to that uncle, kind of similar to that aunt, that kind of thing. And I just prayed for something so much different. I remember still coming home one day and just staying in my car and just praying for something so much different, because I could feel that. I could feel it. And there were so many things that my mother said, she had prayed for and she had asked for, and it would have come through. And I thought, Lord, if there's one thing, I would need it to be this.
Sure.
And then I got a call from a friend the one time, and then I kind of missed an opportunity viewing. And then, because I didn't go and I didn't listen. So I feel God came via my brother.
Okay.
Because he knows that we're really close.
Yes.
So that same opportunity came to my brother first, and my brother caught on to it. So I was able to listen to it because I was bought into him. So anybody can be sold anything, but you're not going to be bought in
Unless
if you're
it's
not
someone you
bought into the
trust.
person.
Yeah,
100%. That's what sales is. They buy into the relationship that they have with you.
Yes.
Right? At that point in time, I was at a corporate company, and I started climbing the corporate ladder to a point where now I'm literally hungry and I want something different, and I'm going to do what everybody told us to do. You go to school, you go and get a good job, you get a good tertiary education, and chances are you'll just make it at the top, somewhere there, and it's going to look, and it's going to look as great.
Yeah.
Let's be real, average employees don't make it to CEO or director or any of the sort, right?
Nope.
So I got as close as I could get to the corporate ladder, and I built up really quickly about 5 positions into a corporate company, and realized that that was the pinnacle for me, and I wasn't going to get anything more than that.
So you were already
And
earning
at
a decent salary.
I was already, yes, at that point, because the moment I basically, at the age of 20 already, I already had that work ethic, because already in high school,
Yes.
I used to do things like plaiting hair, cornrows, break time and after school,
Yes,
outweigh
yes.
tables. At
Would the people pay you for doing that?
absolutely, the guys would like $50 for a full head and 25 rand for half
So you're
head.
hustling since that time.
Absolutely, right? Because
Born
you want to do
hustler.
things. You want to do things over the weekend, guys.
Yes, yes.
And then from a Thursday to a Sunday, I'm with my Portuguese friends, and we're busy weighing tables at a day.
Could you speak that,
And
though?
what do you mean?
Portuguese.
No, I couldn't speak anything.
Yo, why didn't you learn?
I didn't need to though. You just rock up and they're like, hey.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, the olive skin,
Yeah,
and they take on to that. Okay, right? So anyway, so I was exposed to all of that already from a young age, just hustling as much as I could, climb the corporate ladder as best as I could as well, but still desired so much more. Like now, yes, you're able to pay for stuff. I'm able to see to my kid. She's got the support from both sides of the family. I'm so grateful.
You can move around,
I'm
you
happy.
can put petrol
I
in
can
the
do
car, you can do what you need.
anything.
Yes.
But now it was like, what else? What else from here on out? At that point in time, my brother had got married. The elder one is out, and it's just me and my younger brother. So, and I'm just wanting so much more. And then I got introduced to scriptures like, the one that stuck out the most to me for a very long time was the part where we literally created in the likeness of God's image, right?
Yes.
And the part where, just that people without vision basically perish.
Yes.
And I thought, there's so much that I'm thinking about and that I want to come through. But if I don't have this, according to my understanding, I'll perish, meaning I'll just stay stagnant.
Yes,
if not,
yes.
I'll just fall back. Because now I've hit the ceiling and the pinnacle, and I know that I've got the work ethic, but what else do I have in my hands that I can make work?
But what is it inside of you in that little space that you just know in your heart and in your mind that, nah, man, those can't be.
There's more.
They can't just be those. Or surely
Okay,
there's
so
to be
that's the
something
thing. So
different.
that's the thing. From a young age, being exposed to the lifestyle that we did, humble beginnings,
Yes.
to being able to visit an uncle on a weekend basis, being exposed to another different kind of lifestyle. Right? So now you're like, this exists, but
In
you've
South
got
Africa,
this.
though.
In South Africa.
yeah.
Okay, so this was one of my mother's brothers. That ended up doing well out of the whole family.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so he could afford things.
Yes, he could do stuff,
things, yeah.
and he would come pitch us, and we'll do stuff, and we're like, "Wow, is this what it is?" And like you said, Xavier, you know, you were into cars. Me and my brother, from a young age, we were like, "Oh, one day we're gonna do this. One day we're gonna do
Yes,
that."
yes.
In fact, there was this one program. I'm sure you guys remember Barney.
Yes, of course.
Barney, right?
Of course.
So he taught kids how to use their imagination. So every single series or episode that played was because the kids had created that adventure in their mind,
Yes,
and they
exactly.
brought Barney alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they experienced that lifestyle for themselves, or that specific event, or that adventure. So we always had that, and we would have, as I would say, a hard date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
good time.
Yes,
You
yes.
understand what I'm saying? From a very
Like
young
coming
age,
up with all these creative
all these
ideas
things,
and
we
thoughts.
didn't need toys. We
yeah.
just had each other, and we had a very good time.
Yes.
Right? So we always had that kind of imagination, and it never stopped. You know, so as you grow up and you start picturing things, and you start reading books, and you start listening to podcasts and all of that stuff, and it still speaks about the same thing.
Yes.
Imagination. I mean, you need to think it in order for you to see it. It's faith. You know what I mean? All this
Yes,
stuff, and then
yes.
believing that it's true for you, so that you can ooze that out of you, and you can attract it to you. So there were all these little things, and then being exposed to the secret, all of these things, and then the word, and how God wants us to do certain things. And that was just a tick box for me. Everything that I'm thinking, we meant to do this. We meant to think this way. You know what I mean? And at that point in time, it was more like, am I just being impatient because I just know in my heart of hearts? I'm just telling you, there's some things, Xavier, you ask now, how do you know?
This can't be it.
You just know because you're uneasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not settling.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're not settling.
You're not complacent. You're not in a comfort zone. It's irritating
nah,
you.
this needs to move,
You
yeah.
can
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
you are not. You just not
Comfortable,
comfortable. And there's times where you can feel, no, I've been complacent. Now I'm too comfortable.
need to move now.
Or even if you have someone next to you, someone close to you, you can feel that this person is so comfortable, and you can just reference the
You're
fact that you're not in
stagnating,
that space.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it's completely different to you. Like if you, how can I say, your awareness is everything. If you can literally be aware and be honest with yourself more than anything else, you'll be able to say and acknowledge what is going on with you more than anything else. And
Yes.
if you don't have a lot of noise happening around you, meaning if you're not bombarded with a whole lot of things and friends and everything else, you'll have time to sit. And even if you sit and you feel you're uneasy, it's not your itchy feet that's making you feel like that's where you need to go. It's another
It's
kind of
something
itchy
in your
feet.
spirit that knows that
100%.
this-
It's a
this
complete
I need
different
to-
experience.
Before we
Definitely.
continue, I just want to say thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in today. We are obviously on YouTube, and I got some comments here. Jay, you have one comment there. You got someone from Botswana watching.
Yeah, shout out to
Furious.
to Furious all the way from Botswana. Big blessings. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like Xavier said, thank you so much to each and every one of y'all as well for tuning in. I know you're catching vibes and drawing from this inspiration that we getting here on the
Yeah,
panel.
we-
I'm
yeah.
sure. I mean,
Definitely.
such a wonderful, and man, you just getting started.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to ask you other stuff
Just
because
getting
it's just like
started.
moving, but it's obviously hitting the points that we want to hit. And so here's the thing though: if you are watching online, please do hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get our subscriber base up there. Leandra, what are we on here? 1,140.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we are. If you are watching for the first time, please do subscribe, please like. Just helps the algorithm get our videos out there, get people to see what we're doing here. And today we're speaking about how do you pursue your purpose. And we got Keenan in studio, and she's telling us about where she came from and how she got to where she are now, and just that feeling to know that this can't be it. There has to be something more. I want to change it up real quick. For somebody else watching there, how do they know that they meant to do what they're doing in life? How do you know, like you working a 9 to 5, but you just know, nah, bro, this can't. I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yes.
And I think yeah, how do you know that you are meant to do what you are doing?
Right. So I believe, and in my own experience as well, I feel that we're constantly and always walking in purpose. There's never going to be a time where you're going to feel like, well, I personally feel, and as I said, this is my own opinion, that we're walking towards, or we're working towards, or we're living towards the purpose being at the end. No, I feel like our purpose is at this current moment, because
Yes.
you're supposed to be doing a certain thing
Yes.
where you're currently at the moment. There's no end to it, so we're not waiting for it.
There's no
There
end
is-
goal.
There's no end.
It's
yes,
the journey.
The journey is the journey. Yeah.
Is
The
the,
purpose.
purpose.
Wow.
And what you're doing in that space is everything. Otherwise, you're going to miss it. You're going to keep on looking for something that you're missing right in front of you at this point in time. You know what I mean? And for me, when I had my daughter, I didn't realize at that point in time that it was actually my flip. Because at that moment, it was more like but it was fire. Because if it was just me, it was going to be like, it's okay, I'm going to be chilling with my mom, I'm going to
Yeah,
be... But
yeah.
that literally spiked some kind of spark up me
Gee.
more than anything else. And I got so many... So the kind of advice I got from the people around me was, guys, it's shocking, absolutely shocking. But as I heard that, I thought, I'm not gonna be
Well,
disrespectful.
were people being like rude and negative
and
all
more
that?
like, yes, and more
Yeah.
like,
Judgmental and
wherever
all that.
you're thinking,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, girl, you need to get your heads out of the cloud. Then I realized that this, I'm sure you've seen this quote somewhere where they say that you can't speak out big things to small minds,
Yeah,
like they
of
won't
course.
get it and stuff like that. And then I realized also, and a lot of the quotes that I hear today is more feelings that I felt previously.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, is this what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, is this confirmation?
They just put it into perspective.
yeah.
Like,
You
I
know what I
knew
mean?
this. It's just, okay, you articulated it better there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So at that point in time, coming back to your question, Xavier, it's more like, okay, just repeat it for me quickly.
The question is,
Clear up again.
how do you know that you're doing what you're meant to be doing in your life?
Perfect. Okay, cool. So you'll know when it isn't, firstly. Because when I reach
Yeah.
where I did, it starts bugging you, become
Yeah,
uneasy.
yeah.
Like I said, you start feeling that something is coming,
It's
or
not
something
right.
is
Yeah.
shifting, or something is just not okay. And I believe that when you pray, the noise is even louder. Like, it's gonna shake you up. And for me, and I mean, we're all living in a very busy world, and no one's perfect, and we're all striving, and we're all trying to do what we need to do, and I really try to include God in everything as much as I possibly can. And when I
Yes.
feel like an answer is taking long to be answered, it's more like, Lord, I know I need to keep quiet, or I
Yeah.
need to close certain things, close my eyes on certain things, just so that I can hear, so I can get a better perspective on what's happening. And the moment that happens, it's more like, okay, what is it that you do want to do? What is it that you feel you should be doing but you're not doing? Now you've got this thought in your mind, or this goal, or whatever the case may be. You see it, but it seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
Right? It seems so far away. Now you're thinking of all the things that you need that you don't have at the moment. So now you start speaking yourself out of that entire situation. So at the end of the day, I do strongly believe that if it's something that you haven't done, you must be prepared to do something that you've basically haven't gone through previously in order for you to experience it. And it won't be growth, it won't be something different. It has to move you, it has to shake you. And this is where we should take, or just have that faith to make the move. Because at the end of the day,
If you do what you've always done,
you'll get the
what
same
you've always
results.
got.
Absolutely,
Insanity.
and I mean that the whole part where we've got free will, guys, that is insane beyond comprehension. Like it's massive. So you must still be able to choose to make the move.
Yes.
God, it will be planted in you. You will see it. You will feel it.
Yeah.
You
But do you
won't be
think
able to
people
shake it.
decide to stay because it's comfortable, or they've developed a safety net of like, okay, at least I know I'm getting paid this 10,000 at the end of the month.
It's
At
both.
least
It's both. It's both, because now you're already secure. It's all we basically need. A lot of people are doing a lot of stuff because of safety right now, more than anything else. You're in survival mode.
Definitely.
People they're not even in relationships for the right things now. A lot of people aren't even doing love. They're looking for help. They're looking for security more than anything
This guy
else.
has a car, he has a house, let me just...
You know what I'm saying?
Wiggle my
I mean,
way
that
in.
is love. That is all they need right now, more than anything. And look, you can understand because of the security that they're basically looking for, but it removes away so many things.
It puts you in a position where it's like, now, what am I here for? What's the point of this?
And I mean, if you look at our adults, well, our parents and our grandparents and stuff, they genuinely loved for love. You know what I mean? And I
Yes.
spoke, to a friend of mine just last night about this whole topic, and we were talking about how the quality of the relationships are so much different right now. It's even in our music. Our music is a lot differently,
Yeah. Yeah.
The millennials, the things that we're listening to, everything is so quick, it's so fast. It's more about the lifestyle and the living for the moments, slipping things.
It's so like upper level. What do you call it? Like oppervlakkig. It's so like
Shallow.
yeah.
Yes, and it all comes from the essence of why we're actually doing what we're doing and why we're doing it, and coming back to understanding or
knowing that
this is what you need to do is by making the moves, and you can't miss it. You can't miss it when you make, and even if it's one step at a time, and that's the thing, it's just that one step that we're not even making, guys.
Yes.
And I mean, it's those little successes, daily moves on whatever it is that you want to pursue, that already lights the next fire. Who says? And the thing is, it's so big right now that people think that they need to chunk down this entire elephant where it needs to be broken down.
Like into pieces.
Into pieces. That's
And I
the
think
only way you can
that's
get through
exactly
it.
the second question is, how do you begin that journey? Lee, do you want to jump in there on something?
Yeah, what I've been hearing from you throughout is this thing of, and answering Xavier's question, is this thing of self-awareness. That's where it starts.
Absolutely.
If you don't know yourself, you won't know what it is that your purpose is. Is that not the thing? Because you kept saying that in the journey, in your pursuit of your purpose, which is not really the pursuit of the purpose is the pursuit, right? But in that, you need to know who you are. And you mentioned relationships, you mentioned the kind of society that we're living in. It's very shallow, and a lot of the times I think the reason why people suffer from finding their purpose is because we have so many references. Social media is the reference. So people don't know themselves anymore, and that's the reason why they jump onto everything, and that's the reason why people say, I'm stuck. I don't know what my purpose is. But would you say then it's because you are not doing introspection? You said many a times you had to just quiet the noises around you and find out, do introspection of yourself, look at your own situation, because you could have easily, yes, you had references like your uncle, you had references like other friends and things like that had maybe a better lifestyle financially than you, but you looked at these references and you didn't make yourself that person. You took good parts from those experiences in pursuit of what your main purpose is. And you were saying that you will know it. Because I've heard this a lot, people are like, yeah, I hear you saying all these things and it sounds the same, but I still don't know what my purpose is. But do you think the problem could maybe be that it's because you first need to find out who you are? That's where it needs to start.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I might be wrong, but
No,
from what
spot on.
I'm hearing from you is that there needs to be a self-awareness. Like, who am I really?
Yes.
Not who people say I am.
Yes.
Not who my followers say I am. Not what the mainstream media says I am. But who am I really?
Definitely. And I mean, me and Xavier spoke about it earlier on, where we needed to, or people feel like we need to, I don't know, meet people or our parents' expectations more than anything else, which, just, it's so clouding.
Yes.
It just makes you second guess who you're supposed to be when you actually your own person. Yes, we basically coming through via our parents, you know what I'm saying, but we still our own people. You your own person. You need to find out why you here, live the life that God intended for you to have.
Yes.
And with the guidance of our parents and people in our lives, family, whoever you look up to, basically, that would impact your life and everything else. But it's more of your support structure and your support system that will also help you. And I found a lot in my circle that there wasn't many at all, because I just realized that the mindset was completely different after being
That's
exposed
true.
to so
It's
many
hard to
things.
find that.
And it was okay to go online. It was okay to find people outside of your circle. That's why today I have more strangers that's family today more than my own blood. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's why we're all brothers and sisters, as God says, we're all still here for each other and all of that. So for me, at that point in time, when I got introduced to, different people and just a different, so specifically network marketing, okay? Got introduced to that industry. At first, I
Okay.
was so skeptical because it was
Pyramid
something
schemes and all that
we
stuff.
were never taught about anything. But then again, I interpreted that incorrectly because it was explained the same way, you know what I mean? But then I seen the kind of lifestyle that they lived, and I thought, okay, fine, chances are if I keep on listening to the people that I've been listening to, chances are I'll always
I'm gonna
have the
end up
result
with that, yeah.
and still have what they have and stuff like that. But if I then be a sponge and just absorb and learn what I was never taught, chances are I might get the results that you basically have. And at that point in time, I wanted something different. I believe I was being led because I do believe that prayers are massive. I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe, in the part where Jesus says that you need to stand up from that prayer and act as though it's already done. At that point in time, believing that when I get up from here, whatever comes forth will be to teach me or lead me to the next best thing. And I strongly did believe that, And at that point in time, as much as I felt like I knew a lot about corporate, I was very ignorant towards a number of things that I wasn't aware of. So it's more like at this point in time, as much as you know what you do, you need to humble yourself and absorb what you need to in order for you to get to where you want to go, Kini, because how do you learn when you're the only one talking? How do you learn when you're not open to taking in? Then you might as well just be who you need to be. Like
There's no point,
now, 100%. So
which brings us, I guess, to the next point of the conversation is that how and you technically answered in the question already, but how do you scale that dream? Because the dream is you took us through how you know that this is your dream. You uncomfortable, and a lot of times you hear that we do editing, we do a bunch of stuff, and sometimes we do things for outside people, and we always have this saying that says, you don't know what you want, but you know what you don't want. Yes. So like I can give you something and you can say that, nah, I don't want this. But then when I ask you, what do you want? You don't know. So part of the answer is that like maybe you don't 100% know that this is what I want. But something inside of me tells me that I know this is not where I'm supposed to be. So somehow I need to find my way through this. Then you start journeying and you start meeting different people and you start kind of figuring your way out. But I think, like Leandra mentioned earlier, like you even mentioned, is that the first point is that you must ask yourself those questions. You must do introspections. You must get to a place in you as an individual, like, what do I want? Yeah. Not what my parents want, not what my brother, my sister wants, my auntie, my uncle. No, what do I want for myself? And then begin to explore those avenues. Jay, do you want to jump in there with something?
Now, I basically wanted to ask this question, but let me start here first. I believe there's a difference between, and I'm under correction here, there's a difference between purpose and career. Career can be something that, everything that you obtain for self, but purpose is the reason why something or someone exists for others, basically. And I believe that you basically found your purpose when your daughter was born. And again, that's obviously, now you're living not just for yourself, but now for others. But now how do you basically draw that balance? And I think it's the most difficult thing that people are actually, dealing with today. Purpose and career, or purpose and job. Basically, when we were saying that, obviously the job is getting in the bag, but you're not really, vibing with it, and you're not doing what you want to do. But it's so difficult. And yes, a lot of people get it right to have a purpose in their job. They doing what they want to do. But how do you strike that balance of obviously
not just about the bag, it's actually about doing what I want to do.
Oh,
but you're getting a bag. You're getting a bag from what you.
Yeah. Okay. No, definitely, guys. I hear what you're saying. So basically, and unfortunately, with the way we were taught, it was literally just about finding out what it is that you want to be when you're young, and then trying to pursue that. But then, unfortunately, by the time when you're small, you've got this image in your mind, right? You want to be this doctor or whatever you want to be. Years later, you don't want to be that same person anymore. You see yourself differently because of a lot of other things that's influenced the vision now. So now it's not the same anymore. So now you go into what you feel you would need more. So now you see this lifestyle and you're going for that, no longer what you feel you've always wanted to be, but more because of the possessions and the things that you want to have now, which is now influenced everything that was the original thought or whatever the case may be. So now we already missed the mark there, where we start chasing right after school. We go for those kind of things more than fulfillment. Okay, and unfortunately, it just is the way that it is, because now there's so many things that we go into and we lock ourselves into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You contract yourself into
certain things, and now yes, you're more worried about paying the bills more than you are worried about living a fulfilled life. At this point in time, we are where we are. There's nothing that we can do at this point in time, like changing that. But what we can do is literally make the time to find what it is that fulfills us and work towards that. Because if you look at your day, if you're completely honest with yourself and you actually look at the time that you have, you know what you're doing with your time. You can look at your time and you can be like, look, I want to have my job, and I want to complain, and I want to go home and Netflix and chill, and I want to chill, and I want to do all these things. Yeah. Plus, I'm so uneasy, and I want to feel fulfilled, and I want to do all of these things. But nobody's saying, I want to do all these things, but I know I need to cut out A, B, and C and honestly be,
There's going to be sacrifice to
consistent.
achieve, yeah.
Exactly.
Discipline.
Sorry, consistent in all those things that you need to do in order for you to actually come through. So it's the inner work that we literally need to work on to make things happen and eliminate all excuses to actually get what it is that we want to get started more than anything else. So it's finding out what it is that we want to do, literally and truly going in, finding out the things that we love doing. What is it?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we spend so much time watching other people. And if you put, even if I'm not sure if our phones can do it, if you can literally see how many times you go onto social media.
Yeah, you can check
you
it.
can
And if you see
time.
a day,
Sure.
and if you add it up, that's basically 6 hours or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Now, if you literally took the time out to be like, look, for today, I'm really not going to do that, and I'm going to push everything that I need to push out and get that out one time, and then I'm going to see how much time I have left in a day. I can actually see that I've got the capacity to learn a skill,
Exactly.
Yeah.
to invest in myself, to upskill myself, to actually do what it is that I need to do. Even if it means that you need to then start up something part-time for you to accumulate an amount of money for you to actually start your dream thing, then so be it.
Yes.
Maybe you need to make 2 more big moves or 3 more big moves in order for you to, so that you can see it 100%. You know what I'm saying? Some of us play by really big faith. Some of us don't. We are very analytical. We want to see the numbers. We want to see.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that I can manifest things out of nothing. You
Yeah.
understand? They want to be like, show me the numbers. And I get that it's a personality. So at the end of the day, we need to basically do that. Be honest about what we're doing with our time and make it count.
Yes.
Perfect.
What happens then if somebody, say for instance, like you were saying, we all have this dream that we want to be this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And you feel within yourself, maybe let's say at the age of 20, that you know what it is that you want to do. This is the thing that let's say I want to be a actress. I'm 20 years old, and I'm like, I know that this is my passion. This is my purpose. I know that this is what I want to do. And then as time goes on, life happens. You mentioned it. Life happens. All of a sudden, your interests start changing. You start, your influence. Jay's maybe like this great musician, and so I'm like, okay, maybe I should. And I'm chilling a lot with Jay, and now
It's
I'm
not
like,
maybe.
I'm like, okay, now I'm not really feeling the acting thing. Now I'm feeling music.
Or you see Jay's success, so you go to a
Exactly.
concert and you see all the
Exactly.
people like him and
And I guess it comes with, because things haven't been working for you in what you thought was would you say that to start off, that was not your purpose? Because will your purpose change? That's the question basic that I want to get to. Will your purpose change, or do we sometimes miss the mark because of the way we feel in that moment?
Okay.
And how then to counteract that, to truly know what your purpose is.
Right, 100%. So basically, we feel the way that we do. I feel that we feel the way that we do for a reason.
Okay.
Whether it may be just for a season or even for a lifetime situation, whatever it is, right? It's in you for a specific reason.
Okay.
And it is part of your journey, your purpose. You need to go through it. I do feel like if you feel like there's something that you need to act on, you need to pursue. If it's like singing for a while, you need to go through it. You need to experience it. You need to act on it. You need to pursue it with everything that you have, so that you can know in your heart of hearts that this is something that I have tried. At the end of the day, I don't feel like we'll have all the answers, but I do feel like we will have an answer if we go through it and we do experience it. You know what I mean? That's the only way you'll know, okay, no, I have played full out, or even if you haven't played full out, you can still come back to it and be like, I know I didn't put my all into this. I need to play a lot at this game, or whatever the case may be, and then you can find the second time it works out better, or the fourth time, or whatever the case may do. Whatever the case may be. But going forward, I also do believe that there is something in there for us to learn. So whatever sparked in you is sparked in you because that's a path you need to walk for a while, because you're going to learn something in there.
Yes,
And there's
yes.
something that you're going to take home that's either going to ground you, it's going to lead you, it's going to make you grow, it's going to inspire you, or you're going to help someone also. Maybe
Yes,
you're
yes.
just there to connect with somebody else. It's going to basically introduce you to your next best thing.
Okay.
So I believe that everything happens for you and never to you. regardless of what it is, even if it's a bad situation. Like if you're late or whatever, you delayed because it prevented you from being at the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? At the wrong time.
Or you could
I
have
met
been
someone,
in an accident or something.
you
could
know,
have happened,
meaning wrong space at the wrong time, meeting up with stuff
exactly.
like that. Or like, I know I was supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my purpose. However, I'm not ready for that specific thing that I want to do. I know there's certain things I need to learn. Now, if you know yourself, you know you're not good with, I don't know what, money management or whatever the case may be. And we're praying for certain things and big things. Now, I believe God's not going to give us something that we're not ready for. So you need to learn. I'm going to take you through A, B, and C before you can actually get to D. Because if I'm going to give you this, I know I'm going to hurt you. You're going to be restless and all these things. So I'm so sorry. I know I asked for water.
It's coming.
It's
Okay,
coming.
cool, thank you. Right. So there's all these things that actually helps us and molds us to where we actually need to be. So hence the reason why I'm saying we are already walking.
Preparation
in
meets
purpose.
opportunity.
Look,
All the time.
there's a chapter in the book I was busy with called Reframing, right? And it speaks about exactly that. And we live in a time where we think that what's happening to us is there to harm us or to hurt us or to kind of see our downfall or whatever. But the reframing of it is actually that, like what you just said, maybe you need to go through that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to handle that. And so I want to say, even to people who may be watching, going through something difficult, don't look at it in such a way that it's a matter of like, God doesn't like me, or, this is happening to me and I'm out here blaming everyone around me. And, why is this happening to me, God? Why me? Why me? Reframe it. Look at it from an angle of, okay, maybe let me see a lesson that I perhaps can learn out of this experience. Or maybe let me see, because it's happening to you anyway. It's not like it's gonna go away now because you're being negative about it. It's happening anyway, so you might as well try and pull something positive out of the situation and not waste the season, because it's happening whichever way you look at it, it's still gonna happen. It's like what people always say is that whether you upskill yourself, because let's say something happens like, you can become a millionaire in the next 5 years. 5 years is too far. Whether you upskill yourself and work towards the 5 years, or whether you do something else in that 5 years, you're going to get to 5 years anyway. And then it's going to depend on you whether you've reached your goal or not, or whether you just kind of just fluffed around. Then 5 years you look back and you're like, I could have actually been finished with this. Something happened personally to me. When I bought my car, I took it on 5 years. And right before I signed and before I made my first payment, I thought to myself, is this, like, do I want to do this? Is it something I really want to do? Is it worth going the next 5 years, paying this installment? Then I thought, okay, in the next 5 years, my daughter will be so old. In the next 5 years, my other daughter will be so old. In the next 5 years, I'll be this age. Let me do it. 5 years goes quick. And I just finished my 5 years last month. And so, but now I've achieved something with, I've done something, but I've achieved something in the process, as opposed to not doing it at all and then still getting here and then I didn't do it. So I think that the time, or the actually going through the grind, going through the challenges is necessary. And I'll ask you something personal, quick. Sure. Not personal, but more so towards what you're doing. How did you personally scale what you were doing? Like, you started it, obviously everything starts with an incubation period. It starts small, and how do you begin to scale it?
Okay, so basically it's understanding or figuring out where it is that you want to go, what that looks like, and how big it is, right? So just like I mentioned earlier on, we look at this big elephant and we want to have this whole elephant right now. Right? So just like you'd start anything, you've got a vision of where you want to go and where you basically see things. So scaling things for me would literally be, just understanding what it is that's needed and then breaking that down, like literally and strategically in every way possible, from time to what it costs you and how you'd literally incentivize yourself to keep you going, to motivate you as well. Because sometimes most cases, if you're just running all the time, you're so exhausted and it's so easy to tap out. Where if you stop and you're cutting things down, you're able to see exactly what's needed, when, and what needs to be spent on it.
You said
as
incentivizing.
Well as, yes, yourself. So basically, let's say, for example, I'm where I'm at right now, and I want to scale from where I am, and I want to just take it to the next level, right? So what is that next level, first of all? What does that look like? What does that entail? What does it cost me in just
money,
cost value,
time,
effort, right? All of that. What does that look like? Breaking that down, right? And then having a look at if you put it on a scale and you're seeing how far or how long that takes, okay, you're literally seeing how much effort and whatever needs to be done in each and every part of those. Well, if you put it into steps, it makes a whole lot of better sense for you. You can see it a lot clearer if there's steps towards going to it. And then just the breakdown alone will give you everything that you basically need to see. And now, since you can see it, because that's the one thing, if we don't see it, we get frustrated when we're not getting to it, not knowing that it actually requires so much more than we expected. So now you're so overwhelmed by stuff and you never end up even getting a quarter to where you need to be because it's that big. So when you chunk it down, you're able to see a lot more. It becomes more clearer. And then you don't basically create these expectations that
so there's an element of patience though there, because if you're saying that I want to achieve this, most people want instant success. We want this thing like now, and especially when I'm struggling now, bro. I need a solution to my problem now.
You do get window periods though for certain like careers and so forth on where
your age like, matters and all
bro,
that kind of
do
thing.
or die. It's either you go for it now or
just leave it.
But that's the thing also. It's basically just understanding what it entails so that you don't tap out too soon. Like a lot of people do that before the breaking point. You're just about to hit it. You're just about to, and you're already tapping out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, as much as we want it that bad, we're also not ready for those kind of things. It's the lessons and the things we need to learn in between that we're missing. As much as we're chasing, we still need to become people. We still need to learn a whole lot of stuff. And yes, we're chasing stuff, but there's still life happening in between, you growing as a person. And we're missing that a lot. And if, once again, if we can stop and be like, what is it that I need to learn? What is it that I need to see and understand? In order for you to get to the next level, you don't end up getting to the next level because you're missing it. You're still chasing when you're not learning, when you're not absorbing, when you're not doing things that you need to do in order for you to get there. So it prolongs where you actually want to be. You know what I mean? So breaking it down initially and just understanding what's required of you, it makes it easier for you to start making the moves that you need to. And then you focus
small
on that one.
Moves,
100%. Even if I take one goal and I break it up into 10 steps, I'm taking the first one, I'm blocking out the 9. And I'm looking at the first one, I'm like, what do I need in order for me to get through this one? Because if I'm going to look at number 10, I'm thinking, yes.
It looks big,
It's big. So now when I'm blocking out everything that you need to, and you're focusing on the one, because you know once this is squashed, I can get on to number 2, get you closer to where you need to be. So with the number 1 being in front of you, yes, you've got the time, yes, you've got the cost of what's basically needed, the effort that you need to put into it, and then you incentivize yourself with a little something. I feel that's always nice, instead of just keeping on like running.
But I think we punish ourselves, like especially for colleagues or people who want to get things done. You punish yourself. You're like, I have to push until, and I so often find myself doing exactly. That's why I stopped you at incentivizing, because I make that mistake of wanting to get something done and then punishing myself, almost like, I'm not going to buy myself something unless I finish this or until I get to the stage of the game. And it's actually detrimental, because then, like what you say, you do get tired and you do get worn out and you do like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. There's nothing in it for me. And you end up just calling it a day. I mean, something simple as buying me a pair of shoes or buying me a top or something. And I'm looking at, like on Thursday, I went to go buy myself a hoodie. And I'm looking at the hoodie, and I always have this thing in my mind: is it a need or a want? I don't need it right now, so just leave it. But then I'm like, but I actually want it, and you know what? I'm gonna buy it. And I close my eyes and I tap my card, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this thing. And I get in the car, I'm like, I bought something for myself, which I don't often do. But like, I think it's important to incentivize.
But then, what's the
yourself.
opposite of that? Compulsive. Being compulsive, because now you'd say like, but you need to incentivize yourself, and then some people misinterpret that because, and I think that also comes psychologically from a place of, I've been working so hard, so now I'm just gonna, but that for me screams
now you're being
danger. You know what I'm saying? So how do you balance that and find the balance so that you do incentivize yourself, but you don't go overboard and put yourself back
you've just
another
made
3 steps?
Let's say you got it like $1 million deal, $1 million rand deal. And
don't
now,
fall for the trap.
Now you got a $1 million rand deal, and now you're like, I have this money, I'm gonna go incentivize myself. You go buy a 3 million rand Porsche or Ferrari or something.
Exactly
so now
what I'm saying.
That's also okay. So when you're putting things down, you know yourself as well. If you're that impulsive buyer, you need to be able to be like, what can I afford from this one goal? You know what I'm saying? Each one of them going up the steps from 1 to 10 should be from the smallest to the biggest.
Yes.
And knowing that if you achieve this, you're willing to take so much of that, and only once that is basically achieved, it allows you to be able to afford whatever it is that you wanna incentivize yourself with. Because if you're not gonna get it, which means there's nothing
You've
to
never
set
reached the
aside
goal,
for it. So it's not applicable for you. It's not available for you. The cash isn't there for this to happen.
Yes.
You understand? So you also know what you basically deserve. And that's the thing, once again, awareness. If you know what you truly deserve, you're not going to go and blow everything. You're going to be like, there's so much more I need to. That's why it
Yes.
comes with maturity. It comes with so much things. And personal development is everything. The more you can,
Yes.
that's one thing.
Yes.
That was one of the best things I've ever spent on was literally education.
Yes.
Personal development. Sure, you can never ever spend more than you should on personal
How do you
development.
feel
Definitely.
about education? Do you think it has to be formal training, or do you think education could be videos, podcasts, reading books?
Guys, understand that I'm such a slow learner. I was never book smart. I was street smart because I was exposed to
Real life
You have to make
situations.
things
that
work,
more
yeah.
than anything else. And I feel that that is basically what it is. That's why Robert Kiyosaki's book called
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
yeah, but the one that says why A students work for the D students.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's your chartered accountants that were in school that's working for your spinners. Your
Yeah.
your D students.
Because I don't know that things, but I have the money to employ you.
You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
things and levels of understanding, a number of stuff that can actually help you to where you need to be. You know, and I mean, if you listen to a lot of success stories, like your Les Brown, your Jennifer Lopez, everybody were all street smart. They all made
Yeah.
it because of the
They
moves
have
that
to
they
hustle,
made.
yeah.
It was art. You know, hustle and art that will definitely set you apart from the rest. So regardless of whether you book smart or not, if you've got work ethic and you've got the heart to pursue, meaning keep on doing things and making things happen, getting up when you fall down or whatever the
Showing
case
up.
may be, showing up, putting in the work, definitely that's where it's at more than anything else. So coming back to your question,
Which one?
the last one.
The last one. How do you scale it?
Okay. Did we wrap that one up already?
Yeah, we were touching
so
on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
was
did.
basically that breaking it down,
Yes.
and then with regards to spending, knowing what it is that you want and what you need, what you can actually afford, and if it's going to boost you. If you
Yes.
know that this is the one thing I really wanted, and if it's not just a something, it's
Yeah.
not going to move you.
Yeah.
But if you know that this is something I always wanted, and I'm going to
Yes.
work towards it. Like even the way you value stuff, if you pay for it, you value it a lot more.
Yeah, because it's
someone's
yours.
given to you because you put sweat into it.
They say
Yeah.
if you don't
know
pay,
what I
you
mean?
don't pay attention.
No, it's very true.
Yes.
True.
It's
We've
true.
seen that with events across over the years, bro. If you don't charge for something, people come and have this don't care attitude.
Absolutely.
Even if you just pay that, I mean, that was shown through with the plastic bags in South Africa. So the
Yeah.
plastic bags used to be like free.
Yeah.
When you go to the checkers or the shops or whatever, you get a plastic bag and then you go. Then plastic bags were like stuck up against fences and just laying all over the place. Then they decided now we're gonna charge like 20 cents for a plastic
Yeah.
bag. All of a sudden, homies out here been folding their plastic bags, holding it for the next time they go to
Yeah.
the shops. People, someone not taking a plastic, holding things in their hands. Because now it's 20 cents, but it's like, hey, I'm paying for this.
That's my
Exactly.
20
You
cents.
know, so there's a value now attached to it. And so I believe it's important that you need to feel the pinch to know that, you know what, I worked for this thing. This is my thing that I struggled for.
Yes.
And I feel like that there are people who are spoiled in life where they get things on a silver platter and you'll never get to a place where you actually can work for the next thing because you're just getting it. So if you're actually there hustling and working and waking up, like you said, you paid for it, then you know the value of that thing. Hey, bro, I worked hard
Definitely.
for this thing. I can't just let it slide. And that's it. But guys, we've reached our time. And I want to go closing remarks and then we're going to call it today. And then perhaps I'll start with Leandra, come around, and then I'll close it at the end.
No, it was awesome having you here and listening to your insights. It was really, really invaluable, and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing with the viewers and with us. One thing that I got out from what you were saying, it's like it's that thing that stood out for me was this thing of self-awareness. Know who you are, know what you want to achieve, know what it takes to get there. Like define it, see it, visualize it. You were speaking about, you made the analogy of Barney, and it's such a corny old, but it makes sense. Like you need to imagine it. If you cannot see yourself in the future, the Leandra of 10 years, you're
What are
just
we
going
doing?
to live
Yeah.
day by day without working towards the purpose. So for me, it was that self-awareness thing. Know who you are. Important for me as well. Make God a priority. Because like you said, you need something to fall back on. And a lot of people have this idea. I was listening to 947 this morning. and it was that Ask Me Anything or whatever, where they have to, somebody gives a word and then they have to explain it for like a minute, something like that. And this person called in and was speaking about self-reliance. And a lot of the times people feel like, okay, I can just rely on myself. I'm self-made. I do this, I do that. But you don't realize that nobody is self-made. Like, I live by that philosophy. Yes, you worked hard to get where you are. And a lot of the things that you did was self. You put in the work. You woke up early. You made your vision. You worked hard. Yes, but it's not self-made because you had people around you to support you. You had God who was there to guide you. So, that's what I take out of it. So I want to say thank you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah, man, today was lit. It was lit. Thank you so much. Like Lee said, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege. One thing I want to say is start today.
Yeah.
And that's it. Start today.
Start now. Closing remarks from you, Keenan.
Okay, from me would be your blueprint. Whatever you're telling yourself is literally, the one thing that's driving you all the way. Like that old Barney analogy, it stuck with me. That's been a blueprint from the time I was a kid to the point where I am right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there were literally small little things that stuck with me my entire lifetime, which enabled me to literally keep on moving and to make certain moves. You know what I mean? And more than anything else right now, what has been key from just working a job and just, working to pay the bills or just trying to get by is the fulfillment more than anything else. Because more than anything, I do feel like I'm at a space in my life now where nothing else matters other than that, and I've been in a place where, yes, I've experienced a boatload coming in. I've traveled the world. I was able to take my daughter to a dream destination. I mean, Paris, that was a game changer for me, being able to be, in situations where I know it was literally just a dream, being able to do stuff. And when I come to a space where I am right now, which is fulfillment more than anything else, I see that takes the cake more than anything else. That is the one thing I can take home more than anything. So apart from that, it's the specific blueprint that I keep on telling myself, which enables me to keep on going, making me know that it's possible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Keenan, I enjoyed having you on the show this morning. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Jay. We had a good show.
And people trip on Barney, bro.
Barney's the vibe.
Barney's a vibe. Be programmed. Be programmed. It's
trip
so
on
programming that makes you take things home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, today I implemented, with my daughter and my nieces and stuff, and everybody is just imagining, because I know where it's going to take them.
Yes.
It's going to make them feel safe, and it allows faith to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just believing in the unwavering.
But and that's the first point of departure. You have to at least think it. At least dream something.
Yes.
At least imagine something. And I always say this, we have this conversation all the time. I say, but I imagine things that are like, that is wild, bro. Like I imagine private jet and imagine travel. Like just imagine like big things. Even though you know that, okay, I know I don't have that money right now, but at least put it there somewhere. It's just something that you can at least strive towards. Yeah, open up your mind. Think about something else outside of your situation. And I like saying this to people. I say, where you are, what your purpose is not where you are now currently. Yeah. So if you're not paying the bills, if you're living in a bad environment, if you that can't define who you going to be or who you are inside of you. There's been many times where I've had even in youth ministry where you could see this kid, like you could see, this kid is destined for greatness. But then they come from living in a backyard or they come from whatever. But you can identify that, this person is going to make something out of themselves. So don't take your current situation as your future. Love where you want to be. Obviously deal with your current situation. Don't have your head
purpose in the dirt.
Yeah, have your head in the clouds to the point where you're now not paying your bills and things. Be responsible, but move forward. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please, again, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We got a question there from Keegan asking if this is a radio station. No, this is the online podcast, the visual podcast that lives on YouTube. It's called The Inside Show, and we live on YouTube. We broadcast every single morning from 9 to 10 with different shows, different hosts, different people, different vibes, different energies, different topics that people bring here to the show. So it's every morning from 9 to 10, from Monday to Friday, right here on The Inside Show. So if you are new, please do subscribe, and then, of course, you can stay in touch with what we do right here. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just puts your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.